Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. Let's see what we can get into today. Please like and subscribe, helps us a lot. You know I appreciate it. And right, let's crack into the first clip. This is quite a quick one, right at the start actually. Okay, in this clip I paused it rather quickly. We're turning left at a set of traffic lights. We got the green light, we move off, but our invisibility coat seems to be working rather well. This van just blasts right from the other side of the road, right in front of us, and carries on going. But very thankfully to the decent VW following him, actually lets us filter in. So there are some decent people around after all. Key thing is, we've got to keep our wits about us. Some people will let us go, and some people won't. Okay, in this clip here we're going through the lovely Richmond Park. As you can see, there's people on the right watching the deer, there's a load of deer there, and some very close to the road. It's the white van back there that we're paying particular attention to. The fact that there's no trade vehicles allowed through the park is one thing. So, there's some markings on the van, but needless to say, I can't say one way or the other whether it's a trade vehicle or not. But it is a 20-mile limit, markings are on the road as well. It's quite clear, everybody knows. If you wish to go through the park, because you've got joggers, you've got cyclists, you've got a bit of everything going on here. And that particular van is in a bit of a hurry, so he's going to actually overtake everybody, break the speed limit, and just, you know, be a bit of a pain in the neck really, and take, well, unnecessary risks. And the funny thing is when he just passed us, for some reason, with some orange in it, he actually flashes his lights as if to say thank you for some reason or another. Not entirely sure what that's all about. Bit of a piss take maybe. But you can see him quite clearly disappearing into the distance. I think we can safely say he's definitely exceeding 20 by quite a way. And as I said, there's lots of cyclists use this park. Good place to cycle actually. I cycle around here myself. Cars need to pay a lot more attention. If they don't like it, find another route to where you're going. I mean, this is not the highway, it's going through a nice park which everybody uses, and as you can see, he's gone into the distance. But I left it run a little just so you can see that there are cyclists on here. They do use this coordinate, and you just got to be extra careful. Now what we're looking at here basically is this VW here, this black car. He suddenly pulls in behind us. One might assume then if he's coming into this lane here, he wants to turn left a bit further up the road. There's a left junction coming up, but as you'll see, that doesn't appear to be the case. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to speed up a little bit. Now as we move away, he's in our lane, but he misjudges the yellow box, doesn't he? So, he can't get across, so he's going to pull into the other lane. I suppose that's probably a sensible thing to do, where that lorry moves on nicely. Now if you look at the front view, you'll actually see now that both lanes do go straight on. BMW there's got a light broken, it would seem. Anyway, this VW passes us here and then dives in front of us. So you're thinking, okay, he's passing because of the yellow box, but then why does he do this then? Why does he indicate right and then go back into the right hand lane? So he was never turned left anyway. Okay, this clip we're back in the Richmond Park again on a frosty afternoon, but it's sun shining, and what we're looking at is the car behind us. Again, it's a 20 mile per hour. I've said this earlier on, and some people just can't keep to it. Even in a quiet park like this where you've got cyclists, pedestrians, especially wildlife, still got to break the speed limit. Or is it just a learner thing? Who the hell knows? I think the only saving grace here is that he didn't floor it when he passed us. He's going over the speed limit, but nothing drastic. But key thing is I'm going to let it run because I want to show you where it got him, which is absolutely nowhere, to a queue of cars. So it was all pretty fruitless really. Okay, I'm going to carry this clip on because some more nonsense happens as we're approaching behind that silver car at the little mini roundabout. and looking to leave, it's just as well we didn't actually want to turn right. Now where it starts from is this Mercedes who believes there's another lane there somewhere, but there isn't. It's a single lane. He goes all over that reservation in the middle there, as does this one here. Some silliness indeed. What we're going to do is, the weird thing is he's got his right indicator on there, which doesn't last for long unless the back one's broken. But we're going to have a look at the front view of this as we're approaching, so you can actually see how that sort of plays out. So here we are coming up to that roundabout, and we've got this silver car that passed us unnecessarily and has no idea at spatial awareness there at all. Look where he places himself. What's wrong with that space on the left? I mean, look at the space he's got there, and he should be more over to the left here, so anybody who wants to turn right at the roundabout can actually go about their business. That particular individual is not paying attention, not interested, but that's not going to stop our German car here, even if we do have to plough all over the roundabout to achieve it with no indication. And then the fellow car we saw with the initial indication, for some reason seems to have turned it off, or it doesn't work at the back and creeps around. At least he doesn't go on the roundabout, I suppose. But that's two examples of impatience, poor driving, including this fella up front. Yeah, just useless really. What can one say? Okay, in this clip here we're particularly looking at the silver car which harasses right behind us all the time. We're on the right hand lane, but the problem is it's fraught with a bit of danger, you know, parked cars, etc. There's a cyclist that we're just about to pass, and we gave that some reasonable clearance, as we should do, but this silver car is doing nothing but trying to get past, and we're trying to deal with the hazards that we're facing while trying to be fluid on the road at the same time, like that car that's pinched out a little too far from that junction. And eventually we were over the left. There's not much danger now in front, so he was able to pass us. We're going to go to the front camera because something else happens which includes basically three cars. It's a little interesting really, because as we're looking forward, there's the red car that we were just given some clearance to, and then we were okay to settle in the left lane. Silver car then passes us, followed by a couple of other cars. But we're approaching a pedestrian crossing, and it changes amber. You can see it ahead now. It goes to amber, and what I'd like you to do is look at where the two car is and that third one that's just passing us. There's the amber light. Who could have stopped for it? The first one, I think he was possibly a little close. What about that second one? I think he could have stopped. What about him? Do they all go through, or do they stop? Does one stop, two stop, three stop? Let's have a little shifty and see. Yeah, wow. Yeah, none of them. Straight through. There's people there waiting to cross. It's just as well that they're paying attention to the lights and don't cross early, as sometimes pedestrians do. That was quite poor, certainly by the third car at the very least. Okay, this clip here is about the cyclists you see up front, riding down, minding their own business. I've zoomed it in a little bit, because what I noticed about this is the initial danger for that cyclist obviously is the parked cars. The road's quite clear ahead. But should the bike actually be over here so they can see what's going on further down the road, or should they be weaving in and out of the traffic? That car behind the white van clearly can't see the cyclist. So when he pulls out, he will then see him late. Cyclists equally the same thing because of the white van's in the way. Could that have been slightly different? You know, what do you reckon? If we look as that plays out, you'll see that the cyclist then goes right between the car and the van. So it works out okay, but it could have been a lot worse because neither could see each other till the last moment. So if you are parking on that side of the road facing in that direction, you've got to be extra cautious and watching out for the vulnerable road users. Certainly on bikes or even jogging sometimes. That worked out okay, but it could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. Okay, this is a fun clip. So first of all, we're at traffic lights and you've got a white van in a yellow box. Shouldn't have pulled out, but he did. Now when the lights changed, all the cars have got to sort of just hold up so this van can get out the way of where he shouldn't have been in the first place. Now as we turn left here, we've got a queue of cars looking to come out of this road. You can see there's a bus. It's trapped a bit further down because of the queue of cars. It didn't necessarily have to be trapped. There are parking spaces on the other side of the road, but everybody's just in a queue and decided not to utilise any of the spaces on their left so traffic could keep flowing. Now as we're looking at this, you got the van that pinches forward. Now it's the two cars, the one behind the van, irony that it's an Audi. Audis, and then behind that there's another white car. Also, these two cars could have moved into a space on the left. They decided not to do that. They decided to pass the two cars. Those two girls that are part of the car there, and as they come around, they decide, instead of waiting, maybe it's their dad in the car, to pull over in a space just to the left of that van to offload their gear. Rather than do it in the middle of the road, they don't. They do it in the middle of the road where it is now. So when the van moves off, as it does shortly, they're still loading their stuff. So indeed holding up everybody even longer. And this particular individual not bothered in the least. He already could have pulled in to let the bus go, but just adds further to the woe. And then when they're loaded, the girls skip off down the road and then the Audi driver drives on. And if you look when the white car clears, you can see quite clearly there was a gap there. Gets flashed there, but there was a gap there which they could have actually moved into instead of being beside those two cars. Okay, we're in a lane here. We're leaving the M25 lane. We don't want that. So we plan early, just like you should do. This is a familiar piece of roadway. It's on the A3 and it's a bit of a pain. It gets really built up quite quickly. But if you are going to take the M25, depending on which direction you're going, you need to get in those lanes early. It does split into two further up. So one sort of begs the question, when it goes to solid wide lines like that, why is somebody doing this and crossing over? That can be quite dangerous if someone decides to leave at this point here. There's another queue there, so he changed his mind the very last moment. If you look behind here, we've got a big lorry here. At least he's a bit high and he can see what's going on, but he does it in the correct fashion. Now he knows where he's going, and the two rows split. There's where we get to the solid white lines, and there's the broken wire lines for the split for the other side of the road where that one crossed, that car crossed. Now imagine if that timing would have been better. That lorry's gone in there and that car pulled out at the wrong time. That could have been pretty poor indeed. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you all again on another video. Take care of yourself and drive carefully. Bye bye now.